NKCS Art. Okay, in order to make your kente cloth paper weaving, this is what it's going to look like when we're all finished next week. This is what it's going to look like when you're finished today, a nice checkerboard pattern. It's going to be on the front and the back. What you're going to do, make sure your name's on it too, because I need to hand it back out to you next week. What you're going to do is you're going to start out with paper like this. I've already folded it and I've put lines on it for you. My lines are white so that you can see them on the screen. Your lines are in pencil. You should still be able to see them enough though to cut them. What you're going to do is you're going to avoid that spot on the top. And you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut up the line all the way to the very top line and then stop. Don't keep cutting or you're just going to cut the paper to pieces. You want to make sure you stop at that line. Try to make it as straight and stay on the lines as you can. And I have a little tiny piece right there to cut. Then you open it up, it's going to look a lot like this. Now, what you're going to do next is I've got a whole bunch of strips, 1-inch strips over here for you. You're going to pick out the colors that you like for your weaving. And when you weave, you're going to do the opposite for each strip. So on this one, I'm going to go underneath the first one and then over the second one. Go back under and then go back over. Trying to be careful not to rip the paper as I do this. Take your time, go slow, don't rush, and then end up ripping your paper. When you're done, you're going to push that strip all the way to the very top of your page where you've cut it. And then you can take a glue stick and you're going to try to glue down the two edges that are sticking off. So on one side, I'm going to glue it and hold it down, and then I'm going to glue the other side, and then I'm going to hold it down too. Push it really good. Try to make sure it sticks. We'll double check them when we're all finished, but that should be pretty good for now. When I get my next color, what I'm going to do is I went under the first time. So when I do it this time, I'm going to go over that first stripe and then under the second stripe. So the first stripe I did under over, and this one I'm going to do over under. That's what's going to make your checkerboard pattern on your weaving show up. Once you get your second strip all the way through, you're going to push it all the way up to where it meets your first strip of paper. It takes a little adjusting on your part. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take a little bit of glue on those two flaps that are sticking up. And you can go ahead and glue those down. Again, we'll just go back and double check our glue when we're all finished. Make sure everything's glued down on the sides. But this is just to kind of hold it in place for now. Again, make sure it's pushed all the way up to that orange, or else it's not going to end up being a checker pattern. It'll look a little bit off. So continue to do this till you get all the way down your paper. So get the color you want, and then just go over under or under over until you get to the other side. So again, I'm weaving through. I'm pushing it all the way up to meet the color above it and kind of gluing it down. I'm kind of creating a pattern with my colors. You don't have to. It's just kind of what I decided to do with my cloth. You can go all the way down to that bottom where you stopped cutting. So when you're all finished weaving, your page is going to look like this. And then you can go back and check the edges and see if they're all glued down really good. Kind of put some more glue on them if you need to. Check the back too. And if your name is on it, then I'll be able to give it to you next week. When you're all done doing your 1-inch strips, I also provided you with some 2-inch strips. You're only going to use one of those strips, so pick the color that you want. And we're going to glue it on the bottom, and then we're going to end up fringing it with our scissors. So pick the 2-inch strip, and you can tell the difference. One is a lot thicker than the other. So if I show you the 1-inch strip next to it, you can tell the larger one. Go ahead and put some glue on the bottom of your weaving and just barely overlap that strip down on the bottom. And then we're going to fringe this so it kind of looks like it's one of those cloths that you can see hanging up like in people's houses or an art gallery. I'm just going to take my scissors and just fringe a little bit. Be careful with the scissors, don't cut yourself. Once you're done fringing these, I'll hold on to them and we will finish them up next week.